Right, let's get a bit more on this, shall we? We are joined now by football finance expert Kieran Maguire. Kieran, thank you so much for coming on Sky Sports News. We appreciate you are just receiving this news as well, much like we are. How would you sum up what's happened and where does this leave Everton?
I think Everton are very aggrieved. It's arisen over a couple, I think, of arguing over accounting points in respect to the new stadium. Everton borrowed money, and they felt that the interest on that should have been taken into consideration in terms of their PSR calculations. The Premier League have disagreed, and therefore that's resulted in the points deduction. There's also issues to do with COVID, and again, Everton felt that given the softening of the transfer market, they should have been given a bit more compassion to take into account of the harshness of the penalty, because COVID has been disregarded to a degree in terms of their inability to sell players for prices they felt they would have achieved otherwise.
And 10 points, Kieran, highest deduction in Premier League history?
Yes, I mean, I think Portsmouth were deducted 9 points when they went into administration. And again, I think Everton will point out they could have taken the administration route, and that would have resulted probably in a 9-point deduction. And that would have hit local suppliers, other creditors as well. Whereas the 10-point deduction appears to be for arguing over the intricacies of accounting rules and an unprecedented global pandemic which impacted upon their ability to act as a normal business during COVID.
And when you look at it, can you break down, Kieran, the charges? Why it's come to this?
Well, Farhad Moshiri acquired the club about 7 years ago. He did try to accelerate Everton through increasing player transfers. It had operated very tight ship prior to that. There's lots of signings. There were quite a few managerial changes, and I'm sure Everton will say we take responsibility for this, and we're not completely blameless, and we felt that we were pretty close to the limit. But the Premier League have decided to look at the extent of Everton's losses, which were around about £300 million over a 3-year period, whereas the limit is 105. But then you are allowed specific deductions for investment in infrastructure, investment in the women's team, the community scheme, of which Everton's is unprecedented in the country. And Everton felt, well, these are our calculations. The Premier League decided to take a deeper look. If Everton had borrowed money from a bank and put that money into the new stadium, I think they would have been below the limit, whereas they've borrowed money indirectly via the owner. And I think it is proving to be sort of a legal stroke accounting issue, certainly rather than a footballing one.
Of course, Everton are not happy. They've released a statement. They've said they're shocked and disappointed. And I guess they would have expected a lesser punishment, do you think?
I think the consensus was that if there was going to be a breach and the sanction was more likely to be a points deduction, I think most people thought it might be in the region of 3 to 6. 10 is unprecedented. When Birmingham City breached financial fair play rules a few years ago in the Championship, they were given a 9 points deduction, and that was for a much clearer set of circumstances. So you can understand Everton feeling rather aggrieved.
I mean, do we need time to sort of digest this information? I mean, do you think that the appeal has got a chance of making this go away? Have Everton fans got anything to cling on to?
Well, the devil is always in the detail with relation to this. I think we need time to address the whole report, to see the intricacies, to see the arguments put forward by both the prosecution and Everton's defence team with regards to the interest, which I think provided a lot of the excess over the PSR limit. And again, Everton will say, if we decided to stay at Goodison, if we'd shown a lack of ambition with regards to the new stadium, the chances are we wouldn't have been up on a charge and we wouldn't be facing this points deduction. So that's going to form part of their defence, and they will be asking for their legal briefings and their accounting experts to put together a case along those lines.
What do we know about the panel that's made this decision, Kieran?
Well, the Premier League is always keen to distance itself from actually being involved in the decision itself. And you can understand that because there are so many clubs who have everybody has a vested interest. Everybody has self-interest as far as an individual club is concerned. So the Premier League wants to see itself as being independent of the decision. It consists of 3 people, I believe, the panel. There will have been a chair of the panel. There will have been an accounting background person, and there'll be somebody from a legal or a football background as well. So these will be professional people, and they will have seen the evidence put forward by both the Premier League, who is effectively on the prosecution side, and clearly Everton's accountants and lawyers and professional people working at the club as well.